Welcome back to another episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and just as a spoiler alert, I'm going to spend this entire episode on the most important event currently happening in the sports world, the NFL playoffs. Last weekend was Super Wildcard Weekend, where we got 6 playoff games between Saturday and Monday. The weekend kicked off with a division rival matchup of the Seahawks and 49ers. To start this year, many people, myself included, predicted that Seattle might win 3 games max this season. Quarterback Geno Smith proved the world wrong and led the Seahawks to a 9-8 record, earning them second place in the NFC West and the number 7 seed in the playoffs. On the other side of the field, San Francisco again entered this year as a Super Bowl contender, and the addition of Christian McCaffrey solidified that belief. After both starting quarterbacks Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo suffered season-ending injuries, it was up to the rookie, drafted 262nd overall, Brock Purdy, to take the reins. Many people doubted the first-year quarterback would be able to continue the 49ers' dominance, but he did just that. Although he had a shaky first half to the game against Seattle, he was able to throw for 3 touchdowns and no interceptions and led San Francisco to their 11th straight victory and on to the divisional round. The night game on Saturday was probably the most exciting game of the weekend. Our local LA Chargers headed to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. The Jaguars finished the 2021 season with a 3-14 record. Then, after making several changes with the coaching staff and adding some key free agents, the Jaguars finished 2022 with a 9-8 record and as the number 4 seed in the playoffs. The game would start horrendously for Jacksonville, with quarterback Trevor Lawrence throwing 4 interceptions and the Chargers jumping out to a 27-0 lead. However, as Yogi Berra would say, it ain't over till it's over. The Jaguars would mount the 3rd largest comeback in playoff history and eliminate the Chargers from the playoffs after pulling off a 31-30 victory. After this massive breakdown by the Chargers, the team has already fired their offensive coordinator and their quarterbacks coach. To start this season, I predicted the Buffalo Bills would be Super Bowl champs this year, and so far so good, but I have to admit I was a little bit worried on Sunday. The Bills hosted the Miami Dolphins, who began the year at 8-3 and looked like a legitimate Super Bowl contender, but after a few close losses and some injuries to key players, including quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, they would finish the year with a 9-8 record and just barely make it into the playoffs. However, third-string quarterback Skylar Thompson put up a solid fight against Buffalo, and for a while, it looked like the Dolphins might pull off the upset. But Josh Allen and the Bills were able to narrowly avoid elimination and beat Miami 34-31. Later on Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings, the team many people considered to be the best team in the NFL, would fall short against the number 6 seed New York Giants. Quarterback Daniel Jones played arguably the best game of any quarterback all weekend, throwing for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns and rushing for just about another 80. The Vikings still had a chance to tie the game late in the 4th quarter, but a miscalculation by Kirk Cousins led to a failed 4th down attempt, and the Giants would come out of this game victorious, winning 31-24. At night, the bitter rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens was reignited. After a back-and-forth first 3 quarters, the game was tied 17-17 to start the 4th. The Ravens were on the goal line, about to punch in the go-ahead touchdown, when quarterback Tyler Huntley lost the football and Bengals edge rusher Sam Hubbard scooped and scored with a 98-yard recovery, and that would be the final score of the game, with the Bengals on top 24-17. And lastly, the Monday night showdown between the Cowboys and Buccaneers proved to be the, most underwhelming game of the weekend. The Cowboys rolled right over the Bucs, winning 31-14. After a rough performance, the Bucs fired offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich, and the world speculated that this might be the last time we see Tom Brady in the NFL. But I think that will be the last time we see him in Tampa Bay, but he'll be back. After all that, the matchups for the divisional round are set. With the first round byes, the Eagles and Chiefs are set to make their playoff appearances this weekend. On Saturday, the Jaguars travel to Kansas City to face the Chiefs, and the Giants will square off against their division rivals, the Eagles, in Philly. Then, on Sunday, the Bills and Bengals will face off for what might be the best game of the year, and the 49ers host the Dallas Cowboys at home for another historic matchup. I still stick with my predictions from last week that this time next week, the Chiefs and Bills will be in the AFC Championship game, and the Eagles and 49ers will be representing the NFC. But never count out the Bengals or the Cowboys. Thank you once again for joining me on this week's edition of Sports Corner. Come back next Friday to see if I was right. I'm Cole Young. Enjoy your weekend.